Oh, hi, Mr. Willis. My name's Scott Michaels. Your son Adam maybe told you I'd be calling. We had done a documentary a few years ago about the Tate murders, and your son commented to the director of the film that I was in about his dad's involvement, meaning you. And I wrote him and I said, "Well, do you think your dad would talk to me for a couple of minutes?" And he said, "Well, yeah, here's his number." First of all, do you mind if I record our conversation?
No, I don't care. That's fine.
Okay, and you've got a couple of seconds now.
Yeah, I'm driving down the road. So
okay, cool. I was wondering if you could, in your own words, just talk about your brief encounter with Manson.
Okay. Yeah, tell you everything that I did, yeah.
Because of your pulling over Manson, the case, that was an important part of the evidence, getting Manson in Los Angeles, wasn't it?
Yes, I gave him a ticket, and he had that ticket on him when they arrested him.
That was at the raid at the Spawn Ranch?
I think it was, yeah. No, well, I don't know. They had a raid at the Spa Ranch earlier that Harvey Pullman and stuff got involved in arresting him, and then I think the Spa's Ranch was where they finally arrested him for the murders, but I don't remember.
Sure. So can you talk about pulling him over?
Yeah, I was going southbound on Interstate 5 just south of San Clemente, and he was driving a gray old bread truck, and double tires on the back, and one of the tires was throwing rubber all over the highway, so I pulled him over to tell him to stop throwing rubber. Didn't have a driver's license on him. He gave me his name, but he had a girl with him, Susan Schramm. She was 15 at the time, and she was acting like a cat on a hot tin roof, like there was something really wrong. He had a big machete on the dashboard of the bread truck, and I smelled marijuana. So I started interrogating him, talking to him, asking him if he had any marijuana in the car, and he says, "No." I said, "Do you mind if we look?" He says, "No, go ahead." So we pulled everything out of his bread truck, and he was as nice as could be in terms of, in those days, I called them hippies. And then I took the girl aside and tried to call her parents, that were in San Diego. And the dispatcher couldn't get a hold of them, so I continued talking to her and realizing that she was nervous about something, and I never did find out what it was. So I gave him a ticket. He went on his way, and later found out the sheriff's office in Los Angeles called me and asked me what I knew about Charles Manson. I said, "Well, it's in the paper. What else you want to know?" They said, "Well, we have your ticket here, and the same van was given a parking ticket in L.A., and he claims to have been in San Francisco that night. He couldn't have been if you gave him a ticket, and then that same van was given a parking ticket about 10 o'clock that night." So that's one of the things that they used to break his saying that he was in San Francisco.
His sort of alibi, pseudo-alibi.
Right.
So they contacted you. You didn't... Okay.
I didn't even realize they'd given him a ticket until they contacted me, and they said, "Well..." And we kept copies of our tickets, and so I went back and looked, and sure enough, I had. He signed it, Charles Manson. I gave him a ticket for no driver's license, and he didn't even have a driver's license because it had been suspended. So.
Huh? Did you save it?
Did what?
Did you save the ticket?
No, I wish I had him. I've shot myself in the arm 4 or 5 times about it.
Wow. Yeah, that would have been something. That would have been a real curiosity you could put up at an auction or something like that.
Yeah, it would have been, but unfortunately, I didn't keep it. But
are you retired now?
Yes. I'm tired and retired.
And this
72 years old. Yes, I'm tired.
The Manson connection. Have you? Did you ever meet Mr. Bugliosi?
No. I wrote somebody an email and told them to ask if they were interested in me getting with them, and nobody's ever answered it back. I've even often wanted to go meet Charlie and see if he remembered me, but I don't know if I'd ever be able to get in to see him. But that's my claim to fame, and that's about all I can say about it.
Well, sort of, have any other people contacted you over the years about it?
No.
And did you? So you weren't asked to testify at the trial?
Well, they said that they were going to call me to testify, and then they found out that they actually didn't need me because they had that physical evidence, and it was used by the prosecutors, and I guess they never had to use it because they had enough other evidence. So it basically was a waste of time, but it was just an interesting part for me to be involved in.
Yeah. But you were highway patrol, so you weren't working with the law enforcement as far as the investigation. It wasn't your type of law enforcement. But I'm curious if you had any comments or what you thought of the way the investigation was handled by the people that did.
It was successful, and that's about all I can say about it. You don't get into that kind of detail unless you do go down and testify in court. And they said that they were going to call me, but they never did.
Right.
So I don't have a lot to say about it. That's interesting, but it's just, for me, it's been an interesting part of my life. Yes.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, my fascination with the case has been about the minutia of it. It's an interesting detail because it was an integral part of the case, and yet it was just a few minutes of your life. But yet here we are talking about it 46 years later. Yeah. And it was.
I talked to him and the girl for almost 40 minutes.
Oh, really? That long?
Yeah.
And during it was all about while you were emptying out were you with someone else? Was there another officer with you?
No, it was. We ride single car during the day. At night, the highway patrol has two people in the cars, but it was in the afternoon, early afternoon.
And it was less than 30 hours later that the murders happened, really, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
So that it's pretty interesting that he was on the brink. On the edge, I guess you could say, that day, yet it seemed like the calmest guy in the world.
Well, like I said, he was as calm as could be, but the girl was just really antsy, really, really antsy, and I've seen that she's living someplace, and I thought it would be kind of interesting to try to trace her down, and talk to her, but she evidently was not a part of any of the murders, so that was not as exciting to try to sit down and talk to her.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I mean, I appreciate you taking a moment to chat with me about it. And
so what is your interest in this?
I have a company in Hollywood called Dearly Departed Tours, and we're sort of specializing in the weird and dark side of Hollywood. And my particular interest in the Tate LaBianca murders came about 20 years ago, and about 8 years ago now, we did a documentary called The 6 Degrees of Helter Skelter, and it's a geographic retelling of the murders.
Uh-huh.
It's all about, what happened where and when and what it looks like today. Since the documentary's been out, my fascination still, it continues. Last week I interviewed a woman named Virginia Graham, who was in prison with Susan Atkins, and Susan Atkins told her what they had done, and she's the one who contacted her parole agent, so that broke the case. So, just to say the minutia of it, I've recently met up with Deborah Tate, Sharon's sister, and in no way do I say she condones what I do, but she understands it, and she was really kind about it. So, that's my sort of, I guess, obsession, and I found
it. The first one that's ever, other than it's a good topic to talk about when I see people, I meet people, and it's a good topic, but you're the first one that actually made contact with me.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time.
Now, my name is Will, W-I-L-L-S, and they've got it Willis in there. Well, I had such a very little part in it, but if you ever want to talk to me, don't hesitate to call me. That's fine.
I sure appreciate that. It's really, really kind of you. Oh, would you mind if I put this little sound clip on the internet?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's okay. You're all right.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you so
My wife
much.
was always, you know, after they found out who he was and that I had met him, she was scared to death that the family was going to come after me. And I said, honey, forget it. They're not going to come after me. I'm just a little pawn in the big fish.
Yeah, it's, you know, just in a weird way, having your name in a book like that. I mean, like with the internet, things are so different than they were 20 years ago.
Yeah, they are.
And when we did our documentary, you know, I didn't think much of it, but the things that come out of the woodwork and reach out are pretty fascinating. And
So where did you meet my son?
Your son must have seen the documentary because he emailed the director of the documentary, and the director sent me that comment that he said that, you know, my dad was the officer in the book. So I looked, and so Mike told me that, and I said, well, I'd love to talk to him. So Adam sent me your contact information. So
good.
That was
fine. Yeah, no, you can use it any way you want to. It's no problem for me.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling me.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.